I grew up in this church. I was blessed by Daniel Karter. I have attended every Sunday school class, and if you have regularly attended the Christmas pageant, you should be well aware of my many moving performances as various angels and barnyard animals. I have taken Owl, Coming of Age, Odyssey. I've flown to Boston, worked brunches, poinsettia sales, some fun. And I do apologize if I terrorized you when you chaperoned a lock-in. I have been the worship coordinator in YRUU for the last 2 years, and am now the president as well. I pride myself in my identity as a Unitarian Universalist, but like many of us, I've always been shaky on exactly what that identity is, what it means. I pray occasionally during a chemistry test that I didn't study for, or when someone I know is hurting and I don't know where else to turn. Meditation doesn't do a lot for me. I get really tired and kind of bored, and anytime I've attempted to visualize what a God or a higher power could be, I end up so confused I almost turn into an atheist. All of that being said, though, I know that I have felt the deep spirituality, the thing that you know is bigger than yourself, that connects you to the world and to the people around you. It just isn't traditional or as recognizable, and I find that to be incredibly frustrating. My relationship with spirituality, my quest for truth, if you will, became clear to me at a very odd time in my life. An office where we returned textbooks in my high school, April 28th, 2021, half sobbing, half laughing with one of my good friends over the scent of an office air freshener. This is not where I saw my spiritual journey culminating, and with all of the energy that I'd put into deciphering my place within the Unitarian Universalist faith, I do find it funny that this is what ended up happening. So to explain this, we go to exactly a year ago today, April 24th, 2021, when my friend and classmate Burju was murdered. An unexpected, horrific loss that rocked the community around me. To know Burju was to love her. She was a radiant, beautiful girl who had the entire world going for her. That entire week felt like a horrific nightmare that was impossible for me to wake up from. Those first few days had originally cemented for me that when it came to religion, I had no idea how to find genuine spiritual comfort. I participated in all the memorials. I hugged every teacher and classmate in my vicinity. I attended a prayer at her mosque, and I sat silently in the funeral home while we stared at the caskets of our classmate and her mother. Nothing provided any relief. The strong emotions that I were feeling weren't connection or reassurance. It was just a singular, crushing, bleak grief. I deeply envied my friends whose religions provided them with a clear-cut method to pray and to grieve, a ritual to mourn. I could not figure out how to reconcile the loving God of many names that I knew, the faith in a good humanity that I hold, with the horrific event that had taken place. I felt like a pretty bad Unitarian. I wasn't feeling grace, I was feeling anger. I did not feel any love, but confusion. So this is where we begin, halfway through that week. My friend Jake and I had been sent to return our French textbooks, which was really easy because between the two of us, we'd used it maybe once. But when I walked into the office, I was immediately overwhelmed with the scent of horrifyingly familiar fresh linens. The air freshener, a small Glade plug-in, had the same scent that had filled the air in the funeral home. A terrible coincidence that I was partially sure I'd manufactured. After we left the office, we start walking back to class, I kind of turned to him. I was like, did you? And he said, oh my gosh, yes, I thought it was just me. We immediately both started crying, sinking against the wall, trying to explain to one another that we thought we were both going entirely crazy. In that moment, I felt it, the connection. It's the same connection I feel walking into YRUU every day, or every Sunday. I wish every day. And I get to see the beautiful faces of the wonderful youth you've gotten to see today. It's the same connection and tranquility that I feel walking through Channing, looking at the faces of the people who've watched me grow up, knowing that I always have a home in this congregation. It's the same connection I feel singing Silent Night on Christmas Eve with my family, joined in song and love in the flicker of the candlelight. We must have sat there for over half an hour, our tears eventually giving way to laughter, talking about just how much we missed our friend. And it hit me that I did not need to know where she was now. I did not need to feel that my spirituality was something that transcended my humanity, that I was connected to God in some special and exclusive way. What I cherish, the way that this church has taught me to love, that is my comfort, that is my joy, and it is the answer to my spiritual journey. In the hallway outside of the textbook office, instead of continuing to stumble blindly through my grief, I focused on why I was grieving. Burju was a beautiful girl who I loved. I loved her purple hair, the navy cardigan she wore almost every day, her infectious laugh, and her amazing sunny disposition. I'm here today because I love this church. Although I've had so many impactful spiritual moments, the thing that has shaped me are the people that I love. My YRUU advisors, who I've worked with for almost 3 years now, every single person here who's taught me at some point while I've grown up, my wonderful, wonderful fellow YRUU members, and my sweet friends and family. To have so many things that I cherish is what makes me the spiritual person that I am today, and I would not be here without this congregation.